And welcome in to Real Deal Sports Talk with me, your main man, KP. Over the next 30 or 40 minutes, we're going to have some fun. We're going to talk some sports. And we're going to keep it real. All right, everybody. How's everybody doing? Lovely day, lovely Wednesday. I hope everybody's week is going good. Sorry for the technical difficulties we had there for a second. We got everything going good again. All right, it's Wednesday, middle of the week. Everything's going good. Everything's going good. I don't know how your guys' day went. My day went great. Just nothing went wrong. It was a good day. Got some stuff done at the job that I'm doing right now. Got some good news about the school year coming up. So, everything's looking good for me in the middle of the week so far. I hope everything's looking good for you so far. And I don't know if you guys saw this. Yankees pitcher, Aurelius Chapman, threw a ball the other day. He's been known to hit 100 miles per hour. But he threw one the other day, 105 miles per hour, y'all. 105 miles per hour. Now, just to give that some perspective, right? I decided to, what other things in sports travel that fast? What other objects could possibly be moving that fast in sports? 105 miles per hour. Most people have never gone that fast in a car. Most people don't know what that's like. Most people, if you go to a baseball game and you're watching the pitching booth with the gun to see how fast you can throw the ball, most people are topping out in the 40s, 50s. Every now and then you get some young guy who plays ball, who gets out there, and he'll top one out in the 70s or 80s or something. But 105 miles per hour, a baseball coming at you at 105 miles per hour. Now, the batter's got to be able to hit that, right? You got to be able to time that. You got 60 feet, 6 inches to make your decision at a 105 mile per hour ball. So pretty much you see the ball coming, you got maybe a second to decide what you're going to do and start doing it. All right, so the average bat speed, just in case you guys didn't know, I didn't know. I had to go look it up. 105 mile per hour pitch. I'm like, okay, well, how fast does the average major league player swing a bat? I mean, do they have a chance? And the average bat speed of a major league baseball player is 70 to 80 miles per hour. So 35 to 25 miles per hour slower than this ball is coming at you. Are there somebody who might get the bat on the ball sometime? Sure. Is there somebody who maybe sometime will get a hit? Maybe. Could you really get lucky and hit a home run? Yeah, if you just closed your eyes, swung, and everything worked out right. I'm sure that could happen. But that's why that pitch is unhittable. That's why when a team gets a guy who throws 100 miles per hour, they try and make him a reliever. Very rarely do you get a starter or somebody who can go 6, 7, 8 innings who throws that hard, because it just wears your arm down. You don't see these guys have long careers. You don't see them, pitching year after year after year. In fact, most likely what you see, and most often what you see these guys have a good year and then maybe 2 or 3 down years where their stuff is now only in the 90s. And then maybe they'll pop back up. And it's just arm fatigue. It's so much arm fatigue. The strain that puts on your shoulder, the strain that puts on your elbow. Your back, your hips, your lower legs, the torque that's required to throw a ball that fast. It requires your whole body. It's not just using your arm, which a lot of people think, oh, you're using your arm. No. That torque, that speed, that velocity, that comes from using your whole body. Twisting it up almost like a cork and releasing the pressure all at once through your hand. Other things in sports that can go around that speed or near that speed that I found. The average golfer's swing is right around 110 miles per hour. Okay, so the PGA, that golf club's coming through pretty fast at the head of the club. The whip they get out of the club as it comes through. Of course, You've seen tennis serves go that fast. Andy Roddick used to be 120, 130. I think he got one around 140 miles per hour, if I'm not mistaken. So crazy speed on the tennis serve, same kind of thing. You don't have that much time to react, and you better react right. So that one's crazy to me too. 105 mile per hour pitch, 120, 30, 40 mile per hour tennis ball coming at you. And of course you got race cars of all varieties. F1, NASCAR, Indy, whatever your favorite is, they can all clearly go that fast. The trucks. So an amazing feat. Let's hope, his arm doesn't fall off. He's been having a very good season there for the Yankees. He came on strong out of Cuba a few years back. Kind of lost his way, had some injuries, but now he's having a good season again for the Yankees. Let's hope he can continue it out. Let's hope, or let's see if he can even best himself now, or the world record of 105.1 miles per hour. And that would be something exciting that we could talk about also. All right, that's enough about the Yankees, enough about Chapman and throwing a ball. Story I really liked reading about and listening to, and I kind of talked about this in my super team conversation that I had with you guys a few episodes back. Super teams, San Antonio Spurs, they're not really talked about, right? They're not really considered a super team. I included them in my super teams. I don't know how you can't with the talent they had, the big three that they've had for such a long time that are now broken up. Duncan's retiring. Ginobili's contract continued to change until he finally signed that 1 year, $14 million deal. But of course they're a super team. Even losing Duncan, they still have Aldridge. Kawhi Leonard in his own right is becoming a top 10 guy in the league. He's a perennial defensive player of the year. In my opinion, look out for him to be close to an MVP candidate next season. Top 2 or 3 in that race, I predict. LaMarcus Aldridge is there, like I said. You still got Tony Parker. You still have Ginobili, who re-signed. Paul Gasol came over. I mean, come on, those are all-stars. That's a super team. You just lost Duncan. They were still a super team then. So when asked about it, Popovich was like, how do you, the question was something like, how do you feel about the Spurs not being talked about as a super team or never brought up as a super team? And Pop's response is classic. It's one of the reasons I love watching his interviews. I understand the media and reporters and journalists say he's one of the toughest people to interview because he won't give you the answer you want. He won't give you the stuff you need to write about. But he's going to give you the best one-liners. And if you're dumb, he's going to let you know you're dumb with his response. But his response to this question is classic. And he simply said, I just count the championships. Because that's what it's about, right? Go ahead, have all your boys, have all your superstars on one team. But when it comes down to it, like we've talked about, like I've said, only one team at the end of the season goes home happy. It doesn't matter how super your team is or not, or how super your team is considered. And the Spurs got 5 rings. Pop's got 5 rings. He's looking forward to, getting some more gold medals. He's going to be taking over Team USA. And I've said this before, and I'll continue to say it. Greg Popovich is the best coach in the NBA. He has been for a while. He was while Phil Jackson was still in the league. Phil Jackson had the benefit of being able to mesh personalities and to mold a team. He wasn't so much a coach. His players made the triangle offense work. And when he lost the players, the triangle offense stopped working. It stopped working in L.A. It's not working in New York. And they're going to have to go to something else, especially with the roster they're putting together now. That's not going to be a triangle offense. Triangle offense worked great when you had Jordan, Pippen, Horace Grant, Cartwright, Shaq, Kobe, these kind of guys. That offense is going to work real nice. Put some shooters around him with a driver and a big man down low. Or at least a guy who can get to the hoop and dish out. Of course, that works. Works all day. He hasn't had that. It wasn't because of his coaching. His basketball acumen that made those teams good. The same can't be said about Greg Popovich. Greg Popovich is not molding players. He's not getting personalities to mix. He builds a team, he coaches them, and they're consistent. They're consistent in the message. They're consistent in the style. They're consistent in the way that team plays. Those are all coaching attributes. Now, don't get me wrong. Phil Jackson did a great job. His 11 or 12 championships that he has as a head coach are well-deserved. It wasn't easy doing what he did with the superstar egos he had to deal with. But that's the difference. His players had egos. Who knows how good of a coach he really is? If he didn't have ego players, if he didn't have guys who had to be the thing and guys who just wanted to be part of, we might have seen something else out of Phil Jackson. Now, Pops is great. I love his comment. If you want to read up on it, go check that out. YouTube him. See some of the other comments and responses he's given to questions and reporters. I would love it one day to be able to sit down with Popovich and, just, not even talk basketball. Just talk sports or life or politics or something random, He seems like a cool dude that way. What's not cool, and I've talked about this before on the show too, athletes, whatever level you're on, whatever injury you obtain, making that somebody else's fault. I don't know if it's a society thing, if it's just a sports thing, if it's a cultural thing here in the United States. I'm really just, sick of people not taking responsibility. And now we got another group of athletes, sports entertainers, WWE, former WWF superstars, at least 50 of them have filed a lawsuit against Vince McMahon and the organization. Because he says, they're claiming, just like the NFL players and NHL players, the league didn't do enough. They didn't let us know this was going to happen. And as I've said, it is not right for your employee to lie to you or to hide stuff from you that could be potentially harmful or keep you from making a decision that's a very personal decision, whether or not you're going to put your safety on the line. I don't agree with that. I think it's wrong for any of these billion-dollar industries to be abusing their power in that way. Let that be said. There's personal responsibility when you play a contact sport of any kind. If you are dumb enough to think that hitting your head over and over again or banging your body against anything for a long extended period of time is not going to have long-term effects, too bad for you. I understand there's long-term medical bills that can come out of these things. I understand the money doesn't last when you leave the sport. I understand a lot of you people, a lot of you athletes, superstars, WWEs, pro football, pro baseball, you like to live the lifestyle because now you got a taste of some money. And you spend it and you live that lifestyle like it's always going to be there until it's not. And a lot of you don't have plans afterwards. And then when stuff starts going wrong and crap gets hard, you want to find somebody else to blame. Look, you decided. You didn't make the choice Chris Borland of the 49ers made last year after his rookie year where he decided to step away. You didn't make the decision some of these athletes today are making. You chose because you loved the thing that you were doing to go ahead and keep doing it, regardless of the injuries. After your first injury, after your first concussion, your first anything, any athlete, any wrestler has the chance to go, no, that's not right for me. Or to go, yeah, I love this enough. I'm going to keep going. I don't want to lose this. I want to be a part of this. I don't want to lose my spot. I don't want to lose my role. I love this. And you all make that decision. So as sad as it is that these guys later in life don't have the support systems around them, don't feel like they can reach out and ask for help themselves before something bad or tragic happens, it is not 100% the responsibility of somebody else to make sure that the coffee in your cup is hot, or that hitting your head over and over could cause permanent damage.